That's crispy.
Hey, what's up you guys, Brandosaurus Rex here, and today we're going to be doing a review of the SciFi Revoltech Series 33 Gamera, or a G2 figure. So here we have the G2 figure, and it looks really nice. Let's just do a quick 360, so you guys can see the level of detail that's on this thing. I think this thing is so cute. Looks really nice. It's really cool. This figure is awesome. I think it's really cool. And it's really awesome, and it comes with a lot of cool accessories. But before we talk about the figure or the accessories, let's actually take a look at the box. So here we have the box, and you can see that this box is really nice. It has a couple things. It says Revoltech right there, SciFi Revoltech. It says it Revoltech. It says it here too. It says Series 33, G2. It says it all there as well. On the side, you have a cool picture of Gamera, and then back, also some more photos, the accessories, you know, how to put it on, kind of like an instruction manual, kind of tells you everything that it comes with right here, and how many you should have of each thing. One of the gimmicks that you can do with the Gamera, blast effect, and some other figures in the line that you can pick up. Okay, and then here's the other side of the box, more Japanese, Chinese, Mandarin stuff that I can't read. But it looks cool. It's out of focus too. Let me focus it up. But you can see the level of detail that they went into when making this box. It shows you how to use the Revoltech joints. Really cool. And then there's the inside, the bottom. Shows you how to use the Revoltech joints and how to position them properly with tools. And then you can open up the box with photos from the movie, which is Gamera versus, I think it's Attack on Legion. So before we take a look at the figure, I want to take a look at all of the accessories that come with this figure, because it comes with a lot of accessories, and which is great. I love accessories, and I love it when, you know, your figures come with accessories. I think it's great. So first we have these flyers, I believe they're called, the Legion flyers. And these things are really tiny. So yeah, it's really cool. It has like this purplish tint to it. It has like these orange colors. I think it looks really cool. The level of the level of detail that went into this is crazy considering the size. This is really small. You can see this comparing to my fingers. This is about the size of a Marvel Legends handgun, to give you some scale. So yeah, so that's pretty cool. And then we have the, I believe these are the scouts or the soldiers. I think that's what they refer to them as. And these are a lot smaller. They're so tiny in my hand that I cannot. I lost one. I'm supposed to have 7 and I lost 1. So that's really depressing. So yeah, but I'll find it. It fell in a bin, but I just didn't feel like digging for it. But they're very small, but they do have a little yellow strip on all of 2 yellow strips on all of them, which I think is great. And then you have the spore, which I think is really cool. Very nicely detailed, and there's pieces of rubble on the bottom of it, as you can see here and here, and you can see that it's infecting the floor, and it's growing another kind of spore here to get double spore kind of action. You get the open chest plate for Gamera, so if you want to do some kind of I believe it's the mana beam that he uses in that movie, you can use that as well. I think this looks awesome, and especially, I'll show you what it looks like when I get a hold of the figure. You'll see what that looks like when it's put on, but this looks really cool. I love the way this came out. And then you get the stand that says G2, and I'm assuming some of this is Gamera and all that stuff. Pretty cool. Has a little hole in it. I don't know what the hole is for, but it stands pretty well inside. And then you have his fire blast that he shoots out of his mouth, which I think is awesome. I think it looks great. I love the different colors. It has the white on the tip. It turns into the yellow, and then a darker orange, and then it goes back into the yellow. I think that looks really cool. Really cool. I liked it a lot. And then you have the case to put all your shit in. I wish I knew this before. I pulled out the Legion and lost one, but I think this looks really cool. You can throw everything in there. Has air holes in case, you know, the Legion need to breathe. And then lastly it comes with these stands, which I think are really cool for the Legion flyers. So what you're going to want to do is just plug this into here, like so. Just look like that. And then you take your Legion flyer, and they have a little hole right there at the bottom. You just plug that up in there. Sorry if some of this is not in focus. Just looks something like that, as you can see. Looks very nice. I think having all of them on the stands are pretty cool. The only reason I would take them off is for display purposes, because you don't want to have these stands in an a.c.b.a kind of display. So here we have the Gamera figure, and I want to show you guys exactly how to put the mana beam chest plate on. So what you're going to do is you're going to sneak your finger under here, kind of in the crotchal area, and you're just going to kind of pull it out. And then once you hear it snapping, then move these arms out of the way, and then just kind of peel it off. It just kind of falls off after that. There's 2 peg holes on this side, and then there's 1 peg hole on this side. And you just kind of plug them in. And then what you're going to do is the opposite, basically plug this in into that area. So there we go. And now you can see he is ready to do his Mana Blast. Bam. Let's pick his head up, open his mouth, stretch his arms out. He's ready. So what I usually do to take this off is I sneak my finger on the inside, and I was kind of messing with this for a little bit so I could get it like video ready. If that makes sense. I put my finger on the inside right here and then kind of tug at it until it comes out. I think that just makes it easier than fighting with it. So now you put the chest plate back on, match up the dots, boom, boom. There you go. Got him back together. Let's put his arms down. And now what I want to do is show you how to put this on. But mine is a little messed up, little factory defect. I'm going to show you. Focus on this. If you could see it, there's way too much plastic in here. And what you're going to want to do is put your hand in his, like, open the mouth as far down as possible. So it should look like detached almost. It should almost look like he like broke his jaw. And then what you're going to want to do is hold the head and twist it a little bit. And then it should come right off. And then you see you have one of those Revoltech little pegs in there. So what you're going to want to do is now put this. This is the part that's hard for me. Putting this here. Force it. Here we go. And then kind of sneak the mouth on with it. Which is the hard part for me because, yeah, there we go. It doesn't really sit too well. So here we have the figure with the mouth blast on. And I think it just looks pretty cool. I think that the attention to detail on the fire blast looks great. So now that we have all that other stuff out of the way, I want to talk about the paint sculpt that is on this figure because, God, it is one beautiful paint sculpt. I thought like the SH Monster Arts, that line was really great with their paint sculpts and, their paint and applications and the sculpting work. But I think that Revoltech is a really close second for me. These guys do have a great attention to detail. The only thing I don't like is these really like plain exposed joints, but I know that that's part of like Revoltech's thing. Like that's how they, that's their patent, that's their their signature on their figure. So I can forgive it, but in some spots it does look a little off, like especially in the forearm. This could have been a regular joint, and the same thing with the shoulder. I like how they hit it in the knee section. Can't really see it that much. I think it looks really cool, and they did a lot of different things with this figure that to me, it's very different, it's very much different than any figure that I have in my collection. So let's just look at the back of the figure. Look at the shading and the attention to detail that's on this figure. I think it just looks great. I think that Revoltech did a great job, with making that just look really cool, and you can see it's catching the light perfectly where this looks black on the inside and then this just looks green, but it's actually all green with like a really beautiful black wash. It's just great. You could see like all the little individual lines that they sculpted on the top of his head. You could just see all the attention to detail, even in the shell, like the inner shell, like the soft gooey part of the turtles alone. You can see how cool that looks and all the little lines and stuff like that. I think this just looks so great. So now let's go over the articulation. Okay, so the articulation, we're going to start at the head. And his head can look up that far. It can look down very even farther, I guess. It does rotate. It is on a Revoltech joint, so it can, you know, go in different directions and all that stuff. His mouth is on a Revoltech joint as well, so it can actually, like, freely, like, if you want to do broken jaw again, just jabber jaw in it. That, you know, you can do that too. I think that's pretty cool. His arms can move up, down, and do, like, it's like on those Revoltech joints that we all know. Bicep. Then he has the Revoltech joint in his forearm, which is all clicky and whatnot. And then he also rotates at the end, which is weird because this is his shoulder. This is something that someone pointed out to me, is that this is his shoulder right here, but the Revoltech joint is way above his shoulder line. But I think that's just to get it where you didn't have that peg sticking out from the back of it, which I understand. And then his hand is also, ooh, I'm blocking the whole light. His hand is on a Revoltech joint as well, so it could freely rotate and all that. Nothing at the waist, which is understandable because, you know, you want to have the mana beam. But he does have another Revoltech joint in the legs. You can hear that just clicking. And then one in the knee. So there you go. And then one in the foot, which I think is great, which gives him ankle pivot, which is great for when, you know, you're posing your figure. You want those feet to be planted firmly. Then he has that tail articulation, and then the rest is the rest of the tail is a bendy wire, which I don't want to move because, you know, bendy wires and rubber, you know, you wear it out pretty quick. So I don't want to, you know, wear that out and, you know, make it pop out or whatever. So I'll just leave it the way it is and just kind of click it from here to get balance. So here we have Gamera compared to two other kaijus in the 6-inch line. We have the NECA 12-inch Godzilla right here, looking very large and in charge. And then we have the Fire Rodan from the SH Monster Arts line, which is one of my personal favorites. And you can see that Gamera falls somewhere in between these two guys. And this one's actually the same size as the Millennium Godzilla, so you can kind of figure that he stacks up like that to Godzilla. But I think that Gamera's supposed to be here to Godzilla, about, well, not comparing to this Godzilla, but to the Millennium Godzilla, he should be about here, I think. It's not that big of a difference. You can fake it with most camera angles. I think this looks pretty cool. Now, to wrap up this review, I wanted to show you guys how the figure looks in a cool, you know, a.c.b.a style display. I have, you know, the Legion on top of Gamera's head. I have a couple down here, you know, where you can see where he's, you know, probably incinerated some of these guys. I have the Spore, and then I have a few of the Legion soldiers, or whatever you want to call them, on his back. You know, a couple props, some fire. You know, all this is really missing is a cutout, you know. And I think this just looks really cool. I think this figure is simply amazing. And I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I'll catch you guys next time. and a whole bunch of Japanese. It says SciFi Wow, that was really loud. That scared the shit out of me.